Welcome to the Tunabudget podcast, your source for insights into financial wellness. Today we're diving into forgiveness, still on the 1 yard line of life? At Tunabudget.com, home of the Tunabudget worksheet plan and the Candid Conversation Memos, we offer resources that simplify budget life planning. We also encourage discussions about real-life challenges affecting our finances. Don't forget to submit your own Candid Conversation Memo at Tunabudget.com. Let's get started. Want to be held back on the 1 yard line of life for the rest of your life? If you're not very careful these days, you and your Tunabudget worksheet plan will penalize yourself. How? You will purposely sit yourself down on the 1 yard line of your own life for life. You'll essentially give nothing or very little to others that you love or contribute much of anything to the community. All because you've been offended, right? Of course, feelings of mental stress and anxiety, feelings of blame, depression, and all of that are normal for anyone who's been hurt or offended. It's called being a human being. You may have been mistreated with meanness, abuse, intolerance, and even hatred. There are plenty of reasons to be hurt and plenty of opportunities to have a forgiving heart too, right? No doubt each time you think back at being offended, you're going to naturally go through all those feelings of sadness all the way up to anger. Throughout your life, you and everyone else will surely be wronged, treated unfairly, discriminated against, be bullied, and even abused by other people. It may even seem too incredulous that another person would intentionally cause you harm, especially a spouse. Being offended can also come due to someone innocently doing something to you. It is so easy to get upset and becoming bitter. If not contained, it can escalate to anger, wanting vengeance for the offender, and you becoming completely justified to sit on the 1 yard line and let the offender know that you're not forgiving him or her. Bad feelings will ensue. Think divorce, and blaming an ex-spouse for the rest of your life too. But what does all that really accomplish for you? Sitting on the 1 yard line year after year, that's what? Really? One of the most unwarranted and saddest things ever, likely, is to not forgive someone, regardless of who it is or what they have done to you. Of course, that may seem impossible, and everyone gets that. But look at what it does to you if you don't forgive and move on. How would you like to find yourself 50 years from now completely stuck on the 1 yard line in the game of life? Unforgiveness is part of ugly pride. Here's why you'll be stuck, okay? Look at what you'll be missing out on. Sure, you could get lucky and have a great life, but just imagine how you'd live if you didn't carry all that baggage, the ball and chain the anchors, for decades. If you don't forgive and continually blame others, it's like a curse on your own life. You'd be in a position where you can't enable yourself to give freely all of yourself and all that you have to offer. It's like a beautiful rose that sits here in bud mode, never blossoms, for you to experience and for others to enjoy your gift and beauty. You will be stuck on the receiving end of living. Everybody will have to cater to you, but you have nothing to offer to anybody else. You don't give. You just take it in from others. How wrong and limiting and how prideful. You'd never really flourish in life or your Tunabudget worksheet plan because you are stuck 24/7 in this mental spinning wheel of sorts where you constantly despise your offender. Your unforgiveness extends to the family members of the person that offended you too, right? And the circle continues to expand outward to others. See how this is working out? Soon you'd miss out on the things that really matter in life, like deep and abiding relationships with family members and family memories and other new friends and associates. When it's gone, and there's this time, and there's no getting it back. Rather, a great part of you, who you could have become, will sit on the 1 yard line, if you will, year after year, acting and pretending to be fulfilled. You justify the way you feel because of someone else's offenses, because you still blame someone who harmed you that you can't forgive. How sad, basically, how sick. What a loss. Yet because of pride, you just sit. Others can see it, as there's no hiding it. You can rest assured your financial well-being, likely in most cases, will match up with the miserable mindset that you have. If you were a speedboat and you knew deep inside that you were, and others knew it too, with so much potential in life, you could fly across the water, right? But because of the heavy anchor that you're dragging below the surface, you're not living up to your potential. You may even be stuck on your own 1 yard line. And you know it, but your pride won't let you forgive and cut the anchor off and move on. You just refuse to let it go. Obviously, the sooner you do let it go, the better that you can cruise across the water with no anchor at all. The longer you won't let go, the harder it will be to eventually let go. Why? Because more pride will set in as damage and further decay start to take over. To really be successful, including your tuna budget worksheet plan, you will have to find ways to let go of that anchor, to cut it off. Those ways and solutions are certainly out there. There is always a solution to every problem. If you really desire to get fully past it, you most certainly will. Great solutions just start with a sincere desire. You can get past the blaming, the hurt, the pain, and move on. Now, you can pretend to do it too, or you can really do it. But getting rid of any mental stress and anxiety baggage through forgiveness, okay? People might ask, how can I let my bad feelings go? Maybe you're only ignoring the bad feelings. Maybe you want to truly forgive and let those feelings go, but they keep coming back and just won't go away once and for all. But you just can't seem to get there. What do you do about that? A lot of people find forgiveness through their religious beliefs, so that may be the best and fastest way to really get rid of the pain. You've probably heard that one should pray for their enemies. How about maybe starting something like that? Many people believe in miracles. Maybe you need a miracle and should seek one too. Do you want one for yourself? Then go get it, as there's nothing stopping you. Forgiveness with love will likely blot out any hard feelings and move you down to the end zone quickly. Your inner rosebud will blossom. You know there absolutely are solutions to any problem, even forgiving someone. If you are still unsure about this and can't find it, then you're welcome to lean on me. There are solutions for every problem, even having a forgiving heart. Search and work at it, but don't give up until you find the right solution and full forgiveness is realized. Yes, it can take some time, maybe even a long time. But if you desire a forgiving heart, you will succeed. Again, it's like a little baby flame called desire. If you let that little flame start for a forgiving heart, you will succeed. Period. Interestingly, some people may not know that they even have bad feelings toward others until later in life. Who isn't in learning mode, right? For today, you already know all too well if you've been injured or even feel like you've been destroyed. But that doesn't mean that you can't rise up again and be restored, completely healed, and still blossom. You can. You really should get any necessary help and put anyone's offenses and injuries completely aside and go on with your life. Cut the anchor loose, okay? Drop the bag of heavy rocks and let your tuna budget worksheet plan be much better off for it when you do. Get down to the end zone. You're a winner. Score touchdowns after touchdowns after touchdowns. And you'd be better, and you're better than the way you are. Let higher powers, if you believe in higher powers, deal with the offender, right? You do know that survival is not as sweet as fully living, right? You just have to want or desire it for real, that little flame that starts. This short ad is sponsored by the Debt Crisis Problem podcast. Attention listeners, Please join us at Tunabudget.com to tune into the Debt Crisis Problem podcast, where in plain English we discuss the 20 risks that could soon fuel a serious economic downturn. We explore these critical risks, and we offer practical insights for navigating financial uncertainty. Join us for thought-provoking discussions that encourage transparency and more awareness. Subscribe now to stay informed and be ready for whatever comes next. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to another area. How quick are you to lovingly forgive? You're just like, never. Okay, maybe the older you get, you become more wise, and you become wise enough to pick up the pace on forgiving others. Older people realize that there's no use in holding on to the grudges and the like. They have a stronger sense of well-being and don't need to go there anymore by blaming others. They can more easily forget about the offense and just move on. If they run into the offender, they can genuinely say hello and not think another thing about it. But if that's true, that leaves a whole bunch of us who may struggle to quickly forgive others. In other words, you're not alone. So what is it when a person can quickly, let's say instantly, forgive another person? I personally try to do this, okay? And I have my reasons. Surely you have your reasons about being forgiven or forgiving others too. Or maybe you have some more work to do. When someone forgives another person quickly, life just seems to go forward better, you might say. There's no baggage or anchor holding them back. Sure, there was damage done, but you just have to push through and make the best of it. But in your heart, if you figured it out, you can go forward and still enjoy a happy life. It's a fair statement that the sooner or quicker you forgive someone, the better off you're going to be. There won't be any baggage, hard feelings, constant blaming, etc. You keep moving down the field, in other words, creating new relationships, new opportunities. Otherwise, if you keep the baggage, the heavy bag of rocks, which includes the anger, there's another one called label revenge, another one hate, you know what I mean. You will certainly be bogged down, perhaps for the rest of your life. Please don't go there. Figure this out. Naturally, you also know that if you fully forgive others, there's no guarantee that you're going to all of a sudden become rich. But the chances are high that your Tuna Budget worksheet plan will feel the lift as quickly as you do. So what are you waiting for? Like most people who have been hurt or offended, you may be carrying that heavy bag of rocks, the anger, the revenge, the hatred, the ugly bitterness, the vindictiveness, the holding grudges, all of that. Are you waiting for the person who injured you to say sorry before you forgive them? Do they really have to change before you can or should forgive him or her? If so, you're likely in good company. Normal people are certainly going to feel justified in saying that there's no chance so-and-so will ever be forgiven before they sincerely apologize to you. You have a point, for sure, but do you really want to go there? Would healing better serve you and your family? If not, at what cost is this going to bring you, as these heavy rocks will weigh you down inside and out? Why risk an entire lifetime of being on the 1 yard line, spending good brain cells wanting to, get even or something, and missing out on great relationships and smiles and happiness and memories and all the like? If these offenses happened in your home involving a family member, how can there possibly be any unity and love in the home where forgiveness is lacking? Do you want this ugly feeling to persist in your home, or if there's now a divorce, to persist in your heart everywhere you go and for as long as you live? No way. It's not worth it. So contention, malice, hatred, meanness, cruelty, evilness, all this, it's not good. There is no good at all in any of that. So why let it be there, right? It is like a person stalled on the 1 yard line and never getting off of it, or like a budded rose that doesn't fully blossom. It's like wanting to have the offender see the damage done to the rose so the offender feels bad. That's just pride, and it's not right. But let's not miss the real point here. The point is he is you, the rose. you can and should blossom. You can even be more beautiful and blossom like a beautiful scented rose. That's the way you have to see yourself. One way to get past all this is to forgive others, really. Anyone, anything, anywhere, often, and maybe even instantly. And once this happens, there is a restoration of unity and harmony and love and affection and friendships and tenderness and even passion. That all comes into your life. That's the stuff that makes the budded or the blossomed rose beautiful. Okay? You can control that. Many people believe that they need to forgive to even be forgiven themselves. Any reasonable person would agree that your Tuna Budget worksheet plan will love you for your forgiveness, that blossoming, okay? It will otherwise stay budded and even crumble. So what are you really waiting for? Where do you stand on the forgiveness and the mercy scale today yourself? The answer may be as simple as observing what is coming out of your own mouth. If you keep hammering away all the time on those times when you were wronged and you blame, what do you think your relationships will look like? How can you possibly heal inside your mind and heart if you constantly blame others for what they did to you? Do you want any rest from this madness? Does your mind and body let you know that you need rest, even if you still don't want it, like you're getting sick? Do you really like being stalled on the 1 yard line or in bed? Could you definitively say that there is someone out there that needs some compassionate forgiveness from you? Are you saying that there's nobody out there that needs to forgive you too? Do you not have your own shortcomings, or have you not made a mountain out of a molehill? So you're not perfect yourself, right? Many times issues develop outside our families and may involve our neighbors too. Is there peace between you and your neighbors? At the end of the day, are you going to have kindness and goodness and live together in peace and harmony? Or you're not, okay? If you are constantly in a state of contention and arguing with people or having constant conflict in your life, how can you possibly be healthy? Right now, are you healthy? If you're not healthy, how can your Tuna Budget worksheet plan possibly have a chance? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being totally willing, how willing are you to forgive and to forget and to totally get healed and to get healthy? In closing, I do have some candid questions for you. Do you truly, really like being stuck on the 1 yard line and missing out on the game of life? Are you already missing out on the things that really matter in life, like deep and abiding relationships with family members and family memories and with other people? Do you believe forgiveness with love will likely blot out any hard feelings and move you down the road to the end zone quickly? If not, why not? Are you willing to reconsider? Are you willing to stay stuck on the 1 yard line then? If you are, you might want to give this some thought, okay? Ever considered living a life of instant forgiveness? How heavy is your bag of rocks or anchor? Anger, revenge, hatred, ugly bitterness, vindictiveness, holding grudges. And how long have you been carrying that load? Ask yourself, is it really worth it? Why not decide today to go all in on the forgiveness and mercy end zone for a touchdown? Clearly, you can see how your Tuna Budget worksheet plan will benefit by forgiving, right? Thank you for joining us. Today we explored forgiveness, still on the 1 yard line of life, highlighting the importance of open conversations in financial wellness. We want to hear from you at tunabudget.com. Submit your own Candid Conversation Memo and share your insights. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe for future podcasts. Until next time, visit tunabudget.com for your free Tuna Budget worksheet plan, the most powerful budget worksheet plan in the world, yours. Thanks again.